Former President Trump has confirmed that he will not be attending the upcoming Republican primary debates. The first is Wednesday night in Milwaukee. Trump says he's not participating because the public already knows who he is and knows of his accomplishments as president. New CBS News polling shows Trump with a strong lead over the rest of the field. For more on this, CBS News politics reporter Zach Hudak joins us now. He's in D.C. All right, Zach, so what's the strategy behind Trump's decision to not even attend the debates? Is it basically, I'm winning, I don't need to go?
There's two things that it will do. The first is that fewer people will be watching the debates. There is no questioning that Donald Trump is a big draw, a bigger name than these other folks, and has a reputation, frankly, for making these debates interesting, for better or for worse. And so there is a very real factor of, by not going, he takes some of the energy out of it. And some of these other folks who need the attention, in a way he doesn't, he's already getting indicted every few weeks. He's getting plenty of attention. These other folks need the attention to raise money. He doesn't go, so fewer people watch. There's also a second factor, which it makes it in some ways harder to attack him over these indictments if he's not there, because a lot of viewers will feel like that's unfair. And additionally, at least a few of the people on the debate stage we can expect will take on a role of trying to defend him. So he gets to defend himself without actually showing up.
Yeah, you got to wonder if they're actually just a little bit relieved when you look at our new CBS News polling that indicates that, you know, likely primary voters don't want to see the other candidates attack him. And if he is there, they may have, I mean, that's what a debate is, right? You take on somebody based on what they said. Now they don't have to do that. But just because Trump's not going to be there doesn't mean he's not going to be on TV. Or is it on TV? I don't know. I guess he won't be on TV. He'll be streaming someplace. He pre-recorded an interview with former Fox News host Tucker Carlson. Where are people going to be able to watch that? Where and when?
We don't know yet exactly where. They're working that out. I think they're looking for a home for it. I think at a minimum, you'll be able to go online and live stream it somewhere. But what that does is that gives him a platform where he can basically say whatever he wants. And the person who in theory would be pushing back will likely be backing up whatever he's saying. I think we can expect him to be talking about how he actually won, in his view, the 2020 election and spewing other falsehoods about that election. It also will create a situation where he can feed into his base and talk about how he can sort of answer for not being at the debate. He can say, look, I can talk directly to you. I don't need to elevate these other folks.
And Trump and 18 others also face a Friday deadline to surrender to Georgia authorities over alleged efforts to overturn his 2020 loss in that state. What more do we know about this? I mean, could he, instead of the interview, could he surrender on Wednesday?
It would be possible, but our sources are saying that the most likely thing is that it will happen Thursday or Friday. And what's particularly interesting about this Georgia case is that in his previous arraignments and bookings, we've not gotten mugshots. We've not gotten fingerprints. There is a decent chance here that we will get both a mugshot and he will be fingerprinted. So that just adds sort of a criminal element to the atmosphere. But aside from that, we, in the previous cases, usually only get a small glimpse of him going in and out of the courthouse. So it's sort of a big, exciting day in terms of it being a historic, momentous day, but not a whole lot that we end up seeing.
All right, Zach, always great talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, later today on America Decides, Robert Costa is going to be speaking with former Governor of Maryland, Larry Hogan. They're going to discuss the 2024 election and the third-party alternative that No Labels says will be present if we have a rematch of the 2020 election.